Testing. My mic works. Someone else test.
Testing.
Testes.
Yep, yours works.
One,
Yep, yours
two.
works. Everyone's works. Excellent. Fantastic.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Mate. Matey. Muddy. My boy.
Oh god, that seems like the worst thing ever.
What?
AC/DC is going to be fronted by Axl Rose. Of all the people.
I don't know.
Where's he from? Guns N' Roses?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't been good in like 15 years, maybe more.
But does that mean Guns N' Roses are over now because he's in two bands?
No, Guns N' Roses is him. The rest of Guns N' Roses left.
But like, how can he be in two bands?
That's a thing.
Kate, I have got so much to teach you.
I just don't feel like it's...
Do you know what a supergroup is?
Nicola, what's a supergroup?
Just don't have my wallet with me, so this is all futile.
Wait, you mean like
Isn't that...
AKB48?
But that's because it's a supergroup. It's like a novelty item.
Not necessarily. There's lots of bands that are made up of lots of members from other bands.
Okay.
It's a thing.
I accept this.
It's a thing. Like, let's say an Australian example, like Carnival and Birds of Tokyo is the same singer. That doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
I know Birds of Tokyo.
And
It's just very shocking.
Oh, so it's like an ensemble.
But like less.
Less?
Isn't an ensemble like many, like so many?
Does it have to be?
an ensemble can
Like-
be 3.
Oh
yeah,
god.
if there's 3 people in the film and they're all successful, is that an ensemble cast?
I don't think success is the...
An ensemble cast is not about success. It's about
just
the amount
about
of time
time
devoted to
given.
each character.
Oh.
Like how there's no main and friends. It's an ensemble cast.
Oh.
I don't know.
I've
Even
learned
though
something
David
new.
Schwimmer
Ross.
hasn't done anything in years.
Classic Ross.
Okay then.
Ross and Rachel, worst part of the show.
Kind of, but I
Yeah.
loved when she got off the plane. That was a nice episode.
God, I know everything about Friends because of you.
Yep.
God.
I don't think that Jennifer Aniston's actually funny in any particular fashion.
Is she supposed to be funny?
Well, she gets comedy roles all the time. She's ridden her career on a comedy
But
and every now and then do.
She's the pretty lady in the comedy film next to the funny man, though.
They write her comedy stuff. It usually involves falling over or something, and she pulls a funny face. That's basically all it takes.
Okay.
That's the sound of Jennifer Aniston falling over.
But that's the majority of comedy, isn't it? Incompetence. It's funny. Except in real life, it's horrific. But in a
Alright.
movie, it makes characters relatable. We should probably start.
Yeah, we
It's
should
getting
start
really
so
late.
we can like talk about things in an official capacity.
Yep, let's do it.
All right,
Official banter.
official banter.
Alright, put
Everyone
your official
ready?
banter hats on.
Mari,
It's time to officially banter.
you're on your phone.
Yep.
Get off your phone.
No. I was so close to winning the solitaire game.
Official banter requires all of your brain.
Gonna be switched on.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Don't worry. I'm like a dolphin who's half my brain at a time.
At all times.
I don't sleep.
Please help me.
Just close one eye. Walk around in circles. Everyone is in half now.
But like, who needs a bed? Well, so much free space. You make dolphin sleep.
Look at all
Love
the
it.
work I can do.
Yeah. You can only do half of it. It's tough.
Okay, start the podcast.
All right. Welcome back to the Trans General Podcast. Yes, back. You heard me right. Chelsea.
We're real back for true. We've come back from our hiatus,
Woo!
bringing you another pod,
Even
which
though-
we've cast.
Yeah, even though we didn't tell you about the hiatus until like a week ago.
Sorry, but
Whoops.
we're back with a vengeance.
What?
with a vengeance.
Like, against transphobes?
I guess.
All right, cool. I'm good with that. We've got guests. Oh, also, I'm Charlotte. Hello.
Yeah.
21 demigirl. You might know me from such things as Transgeneral and also my Twitter. I have a Twitter now. It's at transprogrammer. Also, Transgeneral has a Twitter. It's at Transgeneral. There you go.
Yeah. And I'm Chelsea. I'm 26. I'm a trans woman.
Did you have to look that up?
Just fact checking.
Oh, okay.
It's true. All right, yes, and we do have guests, special guests.
Special guests.
All our guests are special to me.
Oh, that's really sweet.
They have a special place in my heart.
Yep.
Who we got today?
Well, we've got Kate.
Yeah, I'm Kate. I am 22. Last time I was here, I was 21.
Wow.
So that's a change.
Wow, things change, don't they?
Whoa.
March 30th?
Yes.
Wow, it's been like 6 years. Jeez.
Fact checking my birthday.
I know, right? I'm just like, can I remember someone's birthday after 6 years? Turns out I can.
Let me get to my gender. I need to talk
No.
about my gender.
Fine.
I'm
What kind of podcast do you think this is?
like a trans. I don't know. I feel more comfortable with the word trans boy these days. I don't know if I'll
Okay.
ever get to man. Yeah.
I like the ring to trans boy. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just nicer.
I usually go with trans girl, but then again, I also go with demigirl. So
Yeah, also trans mask.
yeah, I use trans femme a lot. We've got another guest. Hello.
Hi, I'm Amari, 19, as usual, the youngest one here, and
Aw.
I'm a demi boy.
Welcome.
All right, let's get back to work. What do we want to do first, Shaw?
Well, do we want to talk about the hiatus?
Yeah, it's probably good for us to kind of explain
Yeah.
what's been going on.
You first, me first. You first.
Let's do a rock off, okay?
All right.
2, 1. We both got scissors. 2.
Fuck.
Our time is all off. 3, 2, 1.
God damn it.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my
Scissors
God.
again. 3, 2, 1. I won. Paper beats rock.
Wait,
So
does that mean you go or does that mean I-
do I have to now do it or do I not do it?
I don't know.
No, you have to do it.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think
I
it's a
don't
good
think
thing.
rock
I don't
paper
know.
scissors is very good in like audio format.
No.
We have to say what
Damn.
we choose at the same time.
I don't know.
All right, look, I'll talk about me.
All
Yeah, I've just been taking a break from life, basically. Had a real rough bout of mental illness, depression, and my usual anxiety just reached peak levels. And was struggling with doing pretty much anything. So basically had a month written off, more or less. That's all a blur. But I have sought help and seen a doctor, and I'm working towards getting better on medication and doing good stuff. So I'm back at it.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And yeah, if you're having any mental health issues and that sort of thing, we can post a bunch of resources that you can go for help yourself. And yeah, and just know that like you're not the only person that's going through that sort of thing, and you can get through it. How about you, Shah?
Oh, me? Okay. Well, yeah, I was also having trouble with mental illness during that time. Just sort of like, summer mental illness. It's just kind of that thing, isn't it? Is
It
it?
was the end of summer, really. It was just like the change of season.
Change of seasons mental illness. I was having a huge problem with dysphoria. Like, I've talked on the podcast a lot about how I didn't really have issues with dysphoria. That's changed. It's kind of a big issue now. So for a while, I just thought that was basic depression because it manifested in similar ways to depression. And then I figured out that it's really heavily tied to the ways that I'm viewing my body. So there you go. I have not sought help for that. I do have a sort of fear when it comes to those kinds of things. But it is getting better by itself. And also, the hormones that I'm on are making it better gradually as well. So I should be good, hopefully. Emails?
Hey,
Hey, let's do some emails
It's
now.
time to do our emails.
Email
and look
time.
into our mailbag, which actually has things in it continuously now. So it's look, it's full now. It's not just an
Whoa.
empty plastic bag.
It's that's true. There are things in it that's not mail,
But
but
they're kind of in digital form,
Yeah.
not in meat space.
I'll never stop waving the bag though. It's real.
It's a good sound clip.
Yeah,
We could just record it once and play it
we could.
every time.
We'll have to do
That
that.
could be our mail thing.
Yes. I was gonna make some kind of joke about gender, but
Trans mail. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's what I was gonna do. But I was like, should I? No,
We won't do that joke.
we won't do that joke.
We won't
except
say it's
you
trans
did it.
mail. Let's not do that one.
All right, so we've got a form submission from Stacey. Hi, Stacey. Stacey says that they love our show and they're glad to find someone that they can relate to, and they were wondering when we're going to put out a new podcast. Here it is. There you go. Hi. This is our new podcast. Anyway, they say that they love our show and they wonder how we got the name for the show. So I think you came up with that.
Yeah, I just really like puns, and I
Yeah.
thought that, like, we'll come up with sort of general topics to talk about, and so transgeneral, here we are. And I kind of thought of, like, transgeneral chat. Like, how in forums they have, like, a general chat section, or, like, in World of Warcraft, there's general chat. No one? No takers?
I know what you mean.
That might have played a part.
Yeah.
In the naming there too, but mostly just I love puns, and it's kind of iconic. It's something that hadn't been taken before.
hmm
That's kind of important
Yeah.
because, like, for instance, transmission would have been awesome, but kind of taken. So
Yeah.
kind of narrowed down our options a little
Just
bit.
kind of taken.
Fortunate. A little bit.
Just a few.
There was a cat outside. Oh my god.
Oh.
Bring it in.
Cats. Bring it in.
Invite it.
Meow.
Shall we move on to the next email?
Yeah, sure. I've got another one that I think is kind of pertinent too.
Yep.
It's just
While you get that up, I'm just going to mention we are on the old microphones again. We spent like 3 hours trying to set up the new mics, but they require like double the power of these mics, so we're going to have to buy a powered USB hub for the next episode. Sorry, everyone. Better audio quality next episode.
cool. So I brought up this one. I'm going to apologize if I've pronounced this name wrong, but it's from Konomi. Saying, hi, I was wondering if you'd consider having an additional contact method via social media besides Facebook. Facebook is well known for causing a lot of grief with their real names policy, specifically for trans peeps. I don't know about others, but I would feel more comfortable with an alternative other than Facebook. Thanks for your time. Yeah, and look, Konomi, we completely agree. We have set up a Twitter account. It's just that it wasn't something I was personally too familiar with. I hadn't done a lot of tweeting. Charlotte, have you in the past, or is this more of a recent
I
thing?
made a Twitter a few years ago, but like
Yeah.
I hadn't really done anything with it until recently.
Yeah.
I also replied to Konomi. I don't know if you saw my emails. I think they went from my account. And I just wanted to point out that like Facebook did change their policy, but also they still suck. They're still banning trans people. And then you have to like prove that you're trans or out yourself to get your account unbanned, which is really shitty.
Yeah,
Like,
it's still
awful.
It's something I never got pulled up on before I legally changed my name.
Mhm.
So I guess I was lucky, but yeah, I've seen it happen to too many friends, and I agree completely. It was just what we were using at the time for our own sort of ease. It's what I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twitter, I'm happy, to say we're branching out into that, and you can have whatever handle you want on that. So
Yeah.
it's a good space to be.
hmm And you can also pretend to be transgeneral. I won't stop you. Like, you can do that. You can call yourself transgeneral official. I can't stop you. Also, like, there's a 20 character name limit. Twitter will stop you.
So what did we go with? What's
Ours is at transgeneral.
Oh, it's beautiful. See,
Yeah.
This is why we went for the name transgeneral.
Too
It's just
easy.
not taken. Too
Yep.
easy. We didn't have to go at transgeneral official. We didn't have to go at the real transgeneral.
At real Donald Trump. Tweet
Yeah.
us.
We didn't have to go at Katy Perry official. We got this sorted.
Isn't that your Twitter handle?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to see if that's available because I've made the joke. And
that'd be fantastic.
It'd just be a great little tie-in, wouldn't it?
I'd love it.
Woman of my word. Okay. Another email. Why not? Okay, so we got a big email here, and we'll probably use this to set up a bit of discussion for the day. So thank you, Amanda, for your email. I'm going to read it out now, and then we'll have a bit of a discussion with our guests about it. So yeah, email from Amanda. Good morning, Charlotte and Chelsea. Look, it's nighttime now, but we will forgive you the time difference and the delay and the hiatus. You know, it's messed things up a bit. But anyway, I'd like to take a moment to thank you for your work on the podcast. It's absolutely brilliant, and it makes my heart happy to see people taking the time to educate. Thank you. A little background. I'm the mother of an amazing 15-year-old that is still trying to find their way in the world in regards to gender and sexuality. I love and support my kiddo unconditionally. I'm extremely fortunate that my wee one still loves in the face of hate. He's still tolerant in the face of intolerance and has a deep desire to teach people. Which brings me to the reason for this email. I live in Asheville, NC. I assume that's North Carolina. Actually, I know that's North Carolina. It's which we'll talk about a little bit in and of itself. It's a liberal, progressive city, and I love it here. There have been some recent events that have brought about some protesting of local businesses based on some hateful comments made on Facebook. That's neither here nor there, really. It is how this topic came into play for me, though. I'm deeply disturbed that members of the trans community are telling me that it isn't their responsibility to educate the ignorant. I don't understand this at all. It's everyone's responsibility to educate. We're quite literally setting things up for the children that will come after us. How can we expect people to understand if we don't take the time to explain it to them lovingly? Please guide me here. I popped out to a protest yesterday to discuss this with people, and I was immediately shut down. I was told that I wasn't trans, so I had no stake in this. I was also told that I was trying to silence them. I wasn't. I was laughed at, I was yelled at, all because I came out to preach tolerance and education. What did I do wrong? How can I initiate a conversation about the importance of education and acceptance in a way that will get the local trans community to actually listen to me? Help, Amanda. Okay, we'll do our best to help, but there's a lot to talk about here. Anyone want to start?
No, I'd like you to start. I know that if I start, I'd usually take a more hardline, less tolerant approach to things. So if you start, I can mimic you and alter my own views, but naturally my views are usually, they start out pretty hardline.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't agree with her.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, she can Google it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, that's I think that's the base response. First things first, it's great to hear that you are supporting your kid. I mean, so many of us don't.
Yeah.
In our community don't get that support and acceptance. A lot of us are luckier than others. I've been quite lucky myself, and I acknowledge that. And it is good to see that your kid still, has tolerance and that sort of thing. The way that tolerance works generally is you shouldn't have to always accept people's ignorance of your identity as being a form of tolerance. That's, accepting people's oppression isn't tolerance.
Yeah.
Accepting people's difference is. So I feel that that's something that needs to be taken into account. In terms of... So we personally choose on this podcast to educate. And we do it on our own time. And when we feel like we're up to it. It's not something that you can expect every trans person to be able to do at any given time.
Yeah. It's frequently very taxing. You have to reiterate through things that have caused you pain in the past. And it's not something that every trans person wants to go through. And it's not something that anyone is obliged to go through.
Especially when, for example, you've been existing in, the cis world, for want of a better term.
No, that's pretty much it.
Say if you've had a bad day and gender's just been attacking you from every angle, then some other cis person comes up to you and be I understand what your whole deal is. Educate me. It's not fair.
But not only in the cis world, even in the trans community, I've found myself being asked to explain, and I just don't understand.
Yeah. Are you speaking specifically about the time with the age gap causing the problems. Like, some
Yeah.
older trans people were essentially demanding education from younger trans people about what gender fluidity is, and then going on the offensive when they were told that it's no one's responsibility to educate, which is
Education, like educating others. Yes, I understand people need to be educated, but
the resources exist.
the resources exist, and to educate should be a personal choice.
Yes.
I do. One thing that comes to mind that was really interesting was my dad was trying to look into it and stuff, and he was like, "I don't know which is the right stuff for me to be reading, right?
Yeah.
Because he's critical thinker, and like if I come across wrong stuff on the internet, it's not always great to find that, and I understand that. Maybe if you ask people for the resources they would like, because remember as well, there is a huge diversity within the trans community, and asking one person for their personal experience, views, and opinions is not going to be universal. But there are resources online there, and it's just the same thing. It's like we live in this world at the moment, and I think this has played into my my personal issues of the last few months, where I'm online and I see myself as something of an activist. I don't always manage to do as much as I would like, but
You got a podcast. Woo.
I've got a podcast and, I try to get to rallies and things like that from time to time, but I'm plugged into, the global trans community and what's going on, and there's always awful news. And when, I see transphobia all the time, and when there's, a positive media article, the first comments are always transphobic. And I could try to educate these ignorant people, but it's probably not going to work for starters.
Yeah.
And secondly, it takes so much out of me. And, it's just something you have to remember, that we've only got limited resources. It's a struggle to live in a lot of contexts. Some things are a lot harder that you wouldn't even consider. Things that you wouldn't have had to consider if you are cisgender yourself. So
I'm curious about one thing. Like, when we met, when I was asking questions, you were educating me. Was that taxing? Because that was pretty baseline, and I think even that would be taxing in a way, wouldn't
it was good.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, it all depends on the context, the mood I'm in. It was a social setting in a queer group.
Yeah.
If someone wants to talk about that stuff, that seems fine to me.
That's one thing I wanted to kind of mention in terms of, what was her name? Was the person's name Amanda?
Amanda, yeah.
I think she could have done a lot more work in terms of picking her moment.
Yeah.
Going up to people at a protest when they're already angry and they're already feeling like the world has damaged them.
Feeling or it kind of...
Well, they're feeling it. The world
You're
is
in
always
North
damaging us, but
Carolina.
sometimes I don't feel it.
yeah, fair. Sometimes you're high.
But and then demanding that they I don't know, prove their own existence to her is not the best time.
Well, I don't feel like it's proving their existence. I think it's more I wonder initially when...
This would be more letting her speak for them at the protest.
I think, did this initially happen on Facebook? I'm assuming this did, when people were talking out against these businesses and things like that, and hateful comments.
That does make a difference, yeah.
Look, if you're online already, I suppose you could sort of just Google it.
I think the lesson that we take away from this, in terms of cis people asking information and all that kind of stuff, is just to listen. Because I feel like if Amanda says that the people at the situation, they said that she was silencing them, I'm kind of more inclined to believe them. There was probably something going down there where she wasn't listening. I feel like that happens a lot. Cis people demand information and you give it to them. Or even the situation with Amari, older trans people demand information, or anybody, and they don't listen when you give it to them.
And this is a group that
Oh my god, this group.
Well,
Chelsea
to
knows
put it
which
in
group.
perspective, because I'm non-binary, I got removed from the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, there was a thread going on in the group, which someone was just kind of what's gender fluidity? And then later down in the thread, someone was just a gender fluid person works under me, and I really wish they'd just pick one in a trans group. Like,
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
happens.
had rough times with trans groups on the internet, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we've got our own now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Mari, do you want to talk about it?
Well, I just said that gender fluid. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know it was along the lines of non-binary people are as trans as anyone else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not up to you to determine people's levels of transness.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a demi-boy doesn't mean I'm not trans. I'm still not the gender I was assigned at birth. I don't know
that's basically
how levels
Yeah.
should make any difference.
Yeah. And, well, specifically, you also talked about gender fluidity because you identified like that for a time.
Yeah.
And said that, like, people talking like this did not make you feel safe in what's meant to be a safe space for trans people. Like,
And
it
then I
actually
got
said
removed
that-
from the
yeah.
group.
And then you got, like, a stern message from an admin. And it was actually on the same day that I got banned from the group because it was just a really big
And
stir
then,
up
like,
that
3
thread.
days later, I got a apology that didn't actually apologize for anything.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. The internet, huh? What a place. Lots of people.
So I think the thing as well is the way you're asking for the trans community to listen to you. I have a feeling that the trans community knows what it needs.
Mm.
And I'm sure there are plenty people in this community of yours, just like ours here, that educate a lot and put a lot of time and energy and effort into that. It's something that can't be demanded of people. It's not always safe to do it as well. There's a whole multitude of reasons. Yeah, I've got another thing to add to this. It's kind of like the idea that like oppressed people always have to be polite and, you know, worry about the feelings of the people that oppress them.
Yeah. And it's like so frequently true. I've noticed on the internet when someone says something transphobic, like all the trans people come in and be like, oh, sorry to bother you about this, but like that's transphobic. And it's always really apologetic.
Mm.
And it just really boils my blood when there's some person making a comment such as like, oh, trans people are so rude, always shoving it in our faces. And she's like, no, they're actually really polite about your oppression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then if you go in hard because
Yeah.
like you're actually being a transphobe, please do not do this. Then
And they'll be like,
then suddenly you're oppressing them.
You're
Yeah.
making this
Like,
worse.
Yeah.
You're just fueling the flames. You'll make them hate you more, is kind of the thing. And it's like, no one ever talks about, yeah, I mean, people say, you know, like, don't fight fire with fire. But they don't talk about that when, you know, people are like oppressing trans people to say, hey, don't fight with fire to begin with. Like, don't oppress people.
Yeah.
Like, it's only ever don't fight back against people that are oppressing you.
Mhm.
So you've got to, I mean, there's got to be some leeway. You've got to understand that trans people live really tough lives a lot of the time. And, you know, if someone comes across as abrupt and that sort of thing, you need to take it on the chin a little bit, I think.
It's also a cumulative thing. Like like educating is a thing you don't mind doing the first couple times somebody asks you a question, but like once it's been happening to you for years, you just kind of get to a point where you're like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I am thankful that the public consciousness is shifting, that I don't have to explain everything every time anymore to every
Yeah.
person.
Mm.
Yeah, the whole thing with wearing you down over years, it's already happened to me. It's been, what, 6 months? It's been exactly 6 months, actually. Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
That's
Thank you. I have started supplementing my estrogen with more estrogen, and that's doing things too. My doc says don't do that. I'm doing it anyway. Can't stop me.
Doesn't it cause bone damage?
Does
I
it?
don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Osteoporosis,
Yeah, it can cause
It's-
osteoporosis.
liver.
It can contribute to osteoporosis.
Ah, it's cool. That's fine. It
Doesn't
can.
excess also convert to testosterone?
Does
yes.
it?
Yes, that does
Excess
happen.
estrogen does convert to testosterone.
Well, it's a good thing that like I'm still below cis levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Be safe.
Be safe. I'm being safe. I've actually checked this against things.
Is the osteoporosis thing just like is that why it happens in cis women as well?
Yeah.
Just like
I
estrogen
think
just
so.
does that. It's like male pattern baldness.
Yeah, there's like things that seem to be tied to the hormonal input
Mm.
of your yeah, so like they've got genetic things that only sort of turn on or off with
Yeah.
what hormones you're putting into your body,
Mm.
which I find really interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like, yeah, so my doctor has me on a patch which is like 100 micrograms per day or something, and that's well below cis doses. And then also I'm on like birth control, which they give to cis women, so we're fine.
Cool.
Estrogen deficiency causes forms of
Yeah,
osteoporosis.
yeah, that's the same as testosterone deficiency in cis men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But is it deep vein thrombosis is also
Yeah, no, that's cyproterine that does that.
is it not both?
No, I don't think so. I know it happens with Cypro because it doesn't happen with Spiro.
But you get like dehydrated, or Spiro makes you
You get
salt
Salt,
cravings.
yeah.
You get
salt cravings, too much salt, too little salt.
no, you get blood clots on Spiro
Ooh,
too,
do
don't
you?
you?
Yeah.
I thought that was
Spiro has
Risk.
like bad side effects.
yeah, but so does Cipro.
Could you fix that with a blood thinner? Like just a simple.
That sounds bad. I don't think that
They
sounds
would be
like you
doing
could-
it if that was the
Yeah.
case.
Mm.
Yeah.
What next?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with the mail. Anyone have any ideas for a word of the day? We spent all of our preparation time trying to set up the microphones, so we're coming in a little bit cold.
Yeah. Well, we were doing like 20 minutes worth of stuff where we were actually chatting, but not about trans stuff. No, like 30 minutes worth of stuff. I recorded it all. I can cut it up, splice it in.
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah,
If
sure.
It's
That's the general part.
it's your
There's
life.
the trans part and the general.
Well, oh my god, that's so good. I like that. Like, we'll
mean,
start with the trans part, move on to the general later.
You know what? I would be happy with that format.
That's good shit.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah. That's
Hey.
kind of what happens anyway.
I remembered. Oh, let's. Well.
Ah,
Jeez.
What's up?
Look, let's go back to Amanda again a bit. And look, first things first. You know, you asked for our help and stuff like that, and hopefully that has helped you in some fashion understand what our opinions are and what our thoughts are and that sort of thing. It's not an attack. It's just an explanation for perhaps why things are the way they are and what you can do moving forward.
Hit something into the mic, didn't you?
I think I hit my mic
Oh,
stand.
Okay.
My
SARS.
forehead hit the
SARS.
You hit.
Oh, we're all slapping our mics here.
No phone.
I'm not using it.
What are you doing?
Cleaning around the camera.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to touch on North Carolina then, seeing as that's where they're from? Like,
I can
I'm really
pull-
sorry.
I can pull the wording of the bill back up. I've still got it saved to my phone.
Do we need it?
Not really. What's it called? Do you remember the name of the bill?
It's got numbers in it, doesn't it?
It does. That's the way they tend to go.
I didn't do law.
America's a bit different to here, but
Here it is. A bill to be entitled An Act to Provide for Single-Sex Multiple Occupancy Bathroom and Changing Facilities in Schools and Public Agencies and to create statewide consistency and regulation of employment and public accommodations.
Amazing.
amazing.
Love it.
Don't love it. So yeah, it must be a pretty tough time in North Carolina at the moment. And I guess our hearts go out to you,
Yes.
your family there. So it's pretty disturbing to see this from the outside and happening all across the US.
Mm.
It hasn't seemed to affect politics here too much.
I'm kind of surprised. Well, I don't know. I feel like Australian politics right now is doing a lot of deferring. It probably doesn't have time to pick up on a bathroom bill.
So, yeah, it's just the way that even places that had previously, like I heard that in a lot of the cities and things like that, and you said that Asheville, where you live, is quite progressive. But even there, the public facilities and schools have to adhere to these bills, which is just sad, really.
Horrifying.
But some good news has come out, I suppose, in the boycotts happening of North Carolina by Bruce Springsteen and Ringo Starr.
I don't really know how I feel about the boycotts, to be honest. I mean, like, it's good that like people who are so far removed from this issue, like Ringo Starr and Bruce Springsteen, care. But I'm not sure if removing their contact from the area is a good idea.
It doesn't help, like, if you're a trans person and a friend, like, and a fan, or something like that. Like, you'd feel a bit weird. Like, 'cause I want to get to see my
Yeah, like I kind of
supportive star.
rather Bruce Springsteen was like, I'm not going to cancel my show, but I don't know, I'm going to just give support or just publicly come out in support, but still do the show. I don't know.
I like the cancellations.
I feel like pulling out doesn't really help anything.
Taking away revenue streams from...
Yeah, it's all financial.
Yeah.
Like business is pulling out and that sort of thing.
And that's really all
Which
you
I
can
guess
do.
in capitalism is, you know.
It'd be really interesting to see what Apple does because they're extremely pro-queer. Like especially with Tim Cook in charge now. But they were before as well. And they've got an entire data center in North Carolina. And
Didn't PayPal stop putting a new data center in there or some kind of processing
really?
center? Yeah, they've pulled out their plans for it.
Good. Well, Apple's is completely built, so I'm curious to see.
I think
I'm sure they'll let a lot of their staff transfer out because they're going to be very uncomfortable from now on. They've already done that for other states.
but it also seems to be a spreading issue. Like there's bills before the House, if that's the correct term to use, in multiple states that are similar, you know, so it's a tumultuous time. I'm going to wax like political, philosophical a little bit. Part of the theory is the reason why trans people are essentially being attacked is because, you know, after gay marriage became legalized across the whole of the US, then the far right needs something else to go after. They need a new scapegoat. They need a new moral panic. Because they lost that fight. And perhaps in Australia, the fact that we don't have marriage equality yet could be a reason why. It could also come down to cultural norms that are quite different here than in the States. Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. We do have a far
I would say
right.
we have less far right people than the southern United States does.
When you think about it, though, the worrisome thing is that, like, it takes a long time for legislature to get undone.
Yeah.
So that even if / when the culture does change around these bills in the US and people have moved on, these laws are still going to be in place.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, it doesn't make too much sense. Like, are you going to police people coming in and out?
Please allow us to check your genitals before you enter this bathroom.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a real ideological battle that they're trying to do. They basically just don't want trans people to exist. And I think people need to acknowledge that we've always been here, we'll always be here. The sooner that comes to be understood, I think we'll all get along better. You can't will us out of existence.
Oh, but they'll try.
Just going to give a lot of people bladder infections. Really?
Kidney, yeah.
It's just going to like...
I don't need
really,
kidney problems as well.
Yeah, it's just going to really back up the lines for unisex bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, are they allowed under this?
Yeah, pretty sure. Like,
Okay.
there's no provisions against it from anything that I read, but I did not read, like, really comprehensive stuff about it, to be fair.
All right.
Okay, I did look. I wish I had it in front of me. A friend of mine... So I've been following in the Magic the Gathering community. As you know, I'm a huge Magic fan.
No.
There's a lot of trans women involved in Magic, and there was a Magic tournament, a Grand Prix in North Carolina coming up. And in terms of bathroom usage, something that they'd post, there was a really good article written. I wish I remembered who it was by. Wish I had it up in front of me. About how that affected them, and they're not able to go to this GP now as a trans woman. And they wanted to hear back from, the organizers, and the organizers have responded, but basically they weren't able to turn toilets into unisex toilets temporarily.
Yeah.
They could only make single stall toilets unisex.
Yeah, because...
So I think there's restrictions on what they can do in regards to
the
that.
bill's all about multi-stall bathrooms.
And thinking of the children.
What about
But what
the trans
about
kids?
children, though?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
because,
get
like,
it.
plenty of mums bring their, like, children or dads,
Yeah,
Because you can't leave the kid outside when you go into pee.
you can, but then, like, a trans person might steal them according to this bill. We tried to use humor to get rid of the morbid facets of life here.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to consider as well, look, it's going to hurt trans people a lot. But it's going to also hurt some cis people because there's going to be false flags and people are going to be like, oh, you look trans,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Soccer moms everywhere are going to have a hard time.
And like, the other thing as well is I remember reading this comic online, and again, I wish I could remember my sources, but it was basically like, you know, like a bit of a TERF feminist lesbian or something wanted to go into the bathroom, but she was uncomfortable because there was a trans woman there or whatever. Anyway, she goes in, and then another woman reads the lesbian as, like the cis woman, as masculine, and then the trans woman says, no, she's okay, let her in. So,
Oh my god.
like, you can't necessarily read someone's gender by how they present.
yeah.
Like, you don't know. Like, it just goes to show. Like, this, I think this thing was made in the 90s, this comic. And yeah, I just can't think
Yeah.
how people are going to respond.
It'd be great if bathrooms had just like guidelines, just like general sort of, if you're femme, maybe try this one, you might have a less hard time. But like not hard line anything. I'd like that. Everything stalls as well. I love stalls. So many stalls. Love stalls. Great stuff.
Have we talked much about bathroom bills in the past and the bathroom stuff? Like, I can't
Not
remember now.
really.
It's gone to the point where I just don't remember. But
I think episode 0, I talked about a little issue I had with the bathroom.
so, you know, the idea of trans women being predators is at the core of this, right?
Yeah.
That just anyone can say they're trans and go in and
Really fantastic statistic is you probably know the
I
one.
know this one.
There are more senators that have like accosted or assaulted people in bathrooms than trans people. So
And then there's the other one that they're just like so many attacks on trans people in bathrooms.
yeah, exactly. So like, please,
Yeah, who are you
just
protecting?
keep forcing them into the bathrooms where they get attacked. Fantastic.
Mm.
And then there's also the fact that nothing is really stopping predators
Yeah,
from
like,
doing
it's- assault is
this
illegal.
bad stuff anyway. The law is already against you going in and doing these things.
Yeah,
It is already illegal to assault someone in a bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
like
Yeah.
there was a case where like a cis person did go into a bathroom and was like, no, it's cool, I'm trans, and they were arrested because they were obviously there for like sinister reasons. I think they had a camera or something. And that's it. Yeah, they were trying to peek into stalls, and they were arrested because that's illegal.
Yeah, peeking into stalls
Yeah.
is not on.
Like, no matter your gender,
Yeah,
if you do
exactly.
that, you're going to get arrested.
And then I guess there's a kind of heteronormative aspect of it too, right? Like,
yeah.
people have different orientations,
Mhm.
different sexualities, and assault people in, I don't know.
Anyone can assault you. Doesn't matter if they're gay, they'll get you.
Oh my god.
That sounds awful putting
Yes,
it
that's
that way.
what
you
do you know
said.
Do you know what I'm trying to say here? It's
I
like,
get what you're trying to say, but what you said is you're not safe. Nobody's safe.
no, it's not that you're not safe. You know, like, we're going to make it so we are all safe, right?
Yes.
Like, we need to take a hardline stance on assault in general, altogether.
It's bad.
awful.
Yeah.
It is gendered, yes. You know, majority of people who assault are men. That's the statistic. Not all men assault. Not all people. Not all men. Yeah.
How did we get here?
Hashtag. I'm going to tweet it right now.
I'm just saying that, you know, like, not everyone who assaults people are men, but you know, there's obviously a cultural problem here.
yes.
That if we ignore it, we can't fix.
hmm
And we're not all going to end up safer.
Very true.
We need to make steps.
Step 1, don't ban trans people from bathrooms. Step 2,
Well, like, it's a
fix the
completely
other
detached
problems.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No, this will result in more trans people getting assaulted.
no, but like in terms of trying to fix the problem of assault, it's just like this is not the way to go. Like, it's just scapegoating.
I'm for the mitigate then fix.
It's just going to create
pattern.
a culture of fear, really.
Yeah.
Like, trans people are just going to be more afraid to exist in the public sphere.
More afraid than they already are.
Yeah.
And they should be, says a senator, as they slam their hand on the table. So, next topic?
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
But look, my heart goes out to your family, Amanda, and everyone in North Carolina and other places where these bills are being put forward. And I guess other places in the world. We are focusing on the US a bit and Australia because that's where we live. We get the media from the US a lot, but I know there are plenty of other places around the world that have these sorts of laws and prohibitions and things like that we are fortunate and privileged enough to not have to worry about. So we acknowledge that.
Mm.
Alrighty, let's have a bit more fun. Hey, Kate, you had a great idea. What was your great idea?
Okay, well, I read an article recently. Look, I think it... No, I'm not going to mention where it was from. Don't worry.
We're really bad at our sources.
Turf
We should start
magazines dot
compiling
com
it.
dot au.
We need to be professional at some point.
We'll have footnotes.
Good luck.
Help
I have to
me.
write those.
Help me.
No, but like the article, it was a good article actually.
Okay.
It was like a list of things that the person like non-trans related things that being trans had taught this person. Like just like how the experience of being trans had like made them into like examples where like a more compassionate, etc. type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it made me reflect a lot on like just on that topic and the things that I've learnt by being trans.
I'd agree with that. I'd say I've become generally more compassionate and more intersectional about things that I try and be an activist around by being trans.
Yeah.
I'd also say I've become more compassionate in general because I've gone on estrogen and I cry a lot more now. It's a real thing.
Yeah, the compassion and the empathy is like really real. Also because like you are asking people to just, even if they don't fully understand what being trans is about, you're asking them to stand up for you.
Yeah.
And be an ally. So it's kind of the least I can do to, stand up for them when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
And understand what they're going through as well.
Yeah, for me, it ties back into that email where you learn that there are times where you need to take a back seat and listen, because that's what we want people to do with our issues as well. And even people that are well-meaning sometimes, they don't give you the space to explain your experience. And I think we live in this world where certain groups of people, through our education systems and that sort of thing, are told that their opinions are important and that sort of thing. So, and that they can have opinions on everything. But when you've got lived experience, that's, I feel like that trumps most just like opinions when you've actually lived it yourself. And so when there's other things going on, I want to hear from the people who have that lived experience before my own views. Like, I think that's the ultimate thing. And that, I feel like, has made me a better person. Sorry, I'm touching things and they're making sounds. And that is bad.
It'll be great when we have the thing because you can be like, oh no, I knew I was touching that. I was wondering if we were going to go to Alex's email. This is our last email for the show.
Oh, have we still got an email?
Yep.
I have one more thing that I learnt though.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool, go.
We can talk about this longer. I like this.
Yeah, because like I just had top surgery and I was always kind of worried that I would be that one person with scars, like that one person whose body is different than everybody else's. But like,
Congrats on the top surgery before you go any further. Like, fantastic. Love it.
Now
Great.
you're hitting your mic stand.
Yeah,
We're
but
all
it didn't
doing
make
it.
a reverb sound. It's
Yeah,
fine.
lucky you.
It's the springs.
now
just
you-
tap them
now
to
you're making the
demonstrate.
reverb sound.
Sorry, please go on.
But then, like, because, I don't know, for me, possibly not for everybody else, but being trans makes me pay a lot of attention to my body and also to the bodies of other people. And you kind of realize that everybody has something that they're not, either that they're not too happy with or that they've had to overcome. Like, people have scars from accidents, people have cellulite they don't like, people have weird birthmarks. Like, everybody's body is different in some kind of way. And I don't know, it helped me to look upon my scars as just a different type of body and just another way of being different. Yeah.
It's really cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think it, in a non-political, like non-talking about minorities way, it did help me just be more accepting in general of just everybody else's bodies. Yeah.
But I just, sorry, it reminds me of people who take that too far. And when you're trans, like, why can't you just love your body? Why can't you just learn to love your flaws? There's there's a line, isn't there? Like, you know,
Yeah.
choosing the way you present yourself to the world and the way people see you is very different from accepting those flaws.
But also, like, in terms of what, you know, like, non-dysphoria flaws that people have, like, you know, some people choose to get a nose job. I feel like we are trained to look upon those people as, like, very insecure, or, like,
Yeah.
they've made a bad decision in getting cosmetic surgery on their nose. But I feel like it's every right. I mean, it's not the same thing, definitely not. But they also have every right to change their body as much as I do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, yeah. But yeah, no, like, I feel like the first step to loving your body is owning your body. And for me, like, getting surgery, it felt like I was owning my body. Like, yeah.
That's what HRT has felt like for me.
Yeah, for me as well. But also, I need to get like a very slight brow lift at some point, because I noticed a few months ago that this eyebrow is like 2 millimeters lower than that eyebrow, and I can bring it up by doing this.
I thought you were just doing the people's eyebrow all the time. I thought you were being Dwayne The Rock Johnson every day. And I thought, Charlotte's really cool.
That's why you always come into your own kitchen. I'm cooking something. I'm like, can you smell that?
I can smell what Charlotte's cooking.
Yeah. Like, great. No, I just like, I wanted to get a brow lift anyway. I'm just making up excuses now, but it really is 2
Does it
millimeters
make you look
lower.
surprised?
It's like, I want it to always look like I'm coming into a room filled with candies and puppies.
What if someone gives you bad news?
I'm like, I'll just furrow them a little and I'll look regular.
Somebody's died, Charlotte. Oh, I got a bad fur on my brow.
Someone's died. Why do you look so excited?
You have to do it manually. No, they're not that extreme. Like, I'm being mean here.
I'll get like eyelid clamps or something.
I gotta put on my sad clamps.
They've got frowny faces on them.
Just in case you can't tell.
Alright, I know. I'll get one of those tear tattoos and then cover it with a band-aid most of the time.
Just cover it with your hand.
Just
When
walk
something
around
goes
with
wrong,
it
you're just like-
covering part of your face.
Like that.
I was sad this whole time, surprise.
You're just holding something, you're holding a cake, and you're really happy, but you're like, oh shit, I look sad.
Oh no, I touched the thing, this is my fault.
Don't let them
Yeah,
touch.
like
Oh.
I've only just started on the journey towards any form of changing my body so I can own it. But even things, as Kate said, even things that aren't necessarily trans related, but part of owning your body can be as simple as cosmetic things, like getting a tattoo. I know personally it was really liberating, because as a child I was always told, oh, tattoos are bad. And it's just like, what's so bad about ink on skin?
Yeah.
But you see, in primary school, they told me that will stain and give me ink poisoning.
Yeah, you're
There
totally
you
gonna
go.
get ink poisoning.
Don't use a lead pencil to do it.
That's the next moral panic. The next moral panic is ink poisoning.
Like, sometimes I want to be a GP, just for the thing where, like, a kid comes into the office one day with their parents, and I notice that there's writing on their arm, and I'm like, no.
You won't perpetuate the system. You won't perpetuate the lie of ink poisoning.
And then I'll link the kid to the Wikipedia page of common misconceptions and just be like, there you go.
Nurse, get me some baby wipes. It's an ink-related emergency. Repeat.
Oh my god.
Just get some of the wipes that you get from food places.
KFC
Moist
wipes.
towelettes.
Yes, nurse, I need a moist towelette.
I've still got some of the giant ones from when they had the one box. I took it home like half a box because we couldn't sell them anymore, and I was working at KFC at the time. And I took home like half a box full of the giant cloth ones.
They're
I
still in
too
this
worked
car.
at KFC in the past.
Ah.
Common thread. We might
Every
have
time you
talked
say
about
you
this
work
before.
somewhere, I'm just like, did I see Chelsea there? Now I can see Chelsea being there. Damn it. Did it really? I don't know.
I'm everywhere.
Which KFC was it?
I'm not going to say because it will give people away. Yeah.
There you go.
Also, back to what Amari was saying. Like, I remember things like growing my hair out, painting my nails. Owning that was just great. And, like, now I just appreciate any kind of difference in other people, I guess, as well. Like, anyone that does something a bit interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I'm, like, predisposed now to think of it as a positive, not as a negative. Like, everyone has their aesthetic preferences, you know. There's some things I still go, ooh, not my choice, but, you know, all the more power to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a better way to look at the world than trying to cut everyone down.
Talking about growing your hair out just reminded me of something like a concept that was introduced to me by other trans people I've been talking to online, which is like this sort of, there's all these coping mechanisms that exist for trans women, and you can just, like, obviously it's not true all the time. It's kind of like, I'd say it's a less gross version of gaydar, because gaydar is like, can I have sex with that person? But this is more like, is that person kind of like me?
Like friendly clocking?
Like friendly clocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there are certain coping mechanisms and things that you can see that just be like, egg.
You
Oh
don't
shit, I haven't
look-
explained what an egg is.
Hey, word of the day.
Word of the day.
Let's-
Egg?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do. So egg
Can we play
is
the
just a
sound bite? Can we play
colloquialism.
the word of the day sound bite? Goes in here. We're going to put it in this time and not just have Charlotte making it
of
with
the
her
day.
mouth. Okay.
Okay, cool. So egg is like a sort of colloquialism that just sort of means a trans woman that has not come out of their shell, or a trans femme that has not come out of their shell, I should say, and just has a lot of the telltale coping mechanism signs. Obviously, it doesn't apply to everyone because there are people who seem to be like using these as coping mechanisms, but they really could just enjoy them. But if a lot of these things converge, usually it's like, yeah. There you go.
What other things? I want to know what the signs
Yeah,
are. I
'cause
want
I've
to
never
make sure
heard
I
of
can
these
tick
before,
off my
so-
box.
Growing your hair out. Entering a field like linguistics or programming. What are some of the things? I could look up my list. I'll look up my list.
Like, I don't think the linguistics thing was like a conscious coping mechanism for me. Like, the growing my hair out, I only did in like the year leading up to transition. So I was already consciously making some decisions about that.
Is the linguistics thing legit? Is that real?
It was on Trans Bingo on Trans Memes place.
And
on the
before that,
internet.
I'd seen other people talking about it as well.
What is that connection? What is that? Why?
I can understand programming, because programming, you don't have to deal with too many people that are like end users, depending on where you go in programming. But I can't see the link in linguistics.
I'm not sure.
Maybe a way to understand the world
Hmm.
when you feel like for most of your life you haven't.
Are you talking from like the heart or like speculating?
She's talking from the mouth.
Column A.
That's where most people talk from.
Yeah, so there are several points of articulation in the mouth.
Gotta get all the way back.
Look, if you're looking for like a nice casual way to learn a bit about linguistics, I recommend David Crystal's How Language Works. It's available as a one of those
PDF?
penguin books. Are they
Audio
penguin
book.
books? You know
Penguin.
the little orange
Yeah, the
guys?
ones
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
the little
cheaply
ones.
Yeah, just go
published
grab
stuff.
it. It's real cheap. Check it
Yeah.
out. Read up on language.
Cool stuff. Another one of the things that's like not really a guaranteed coding thing, but like 23% of trans people are autistic. So if someone's showing coping mechanism signs and they have autism, you're getting closer to the sort of, yeah.
What? I want to know more of these coping
Yeah,
mechanisms.
tell me them all.
We need to know. I need to know so I can friendly clock, as we call it. Like, you should never assume, but it's kind of nice to think,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
We've all done this. I've been there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't assume, but I don't know. I feel so rude saying this because I'm always telling cis people not to ever assume somebody's gender or identity, but sometimes
But you speculate.
just see somebody in public
Yeah.
and you're like,
I remember
Yeah.
there was a thing on your Tumblr that was like, oh, I'm on a bus and there's this short guy. Oh my God. like, is he gay? All right, he pulled up Grindr.
I was trying
is
to
he
figure out
trans,
if he was European or gay, and then he pulled up Grindr, and then I was like,
Is he both?
are you short or are you trans? And then I came out to him, and it turns out he was just short.
Oh, is this the person you talked to on the bus?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is that story.
Okay, that links it. It's all coming around full circle.
And that's why you should never assume.
Yeah, there you go. No, that was a cool story. That was on episode
Some
1.
guys are just short, and some women are just tall.
Tall women.
Some women have deep voices.
No, but seeing that in cis people makes me feel more comfortable with myself, though.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not short though.
I'm not very tall.
I'm
I have
sure
a thing about
that's
height.
why I have this pair of 4, 5, 6-inch heels that I just kind of chill in. They've got this platform under the toe.
You can't let me. Like, I like short boys, so he has to go and be taller. He just has to.
Charlotte, I want you to bring up more of these coping
I
mechanisms.
honestly have
You're not
forgotten.
helping our
There was
listeners
a
at all.
huge, There was a
Didn't you have a
huge
list
discussion.
somewhere?
I did. This is the Trans Woman Bingo list. This is the app that I wrote that like randomizes them in tiles.
Oh.
I'll put that on the Trans General Twitter because it's kind of cute and cool. But anyway, they're all just kind of slightly jokes.
Yeah, because like stereotypes are bad. Like there's literally like I know trans women who've come from like all sorts of
Yeah.
backgrounds. Like you know,
I should
sporty.
clarify the trans woman programmer linguist stuff is only applicable to white trans women as far as I know. I can't speak for any other demographic. And I actually called it white trans woman bingo because I know that most of this has come from white trans women as well.
But yeah, it's funny because like I like the term egg, I guess, as well, because it's like so much of my life was like me running away from the fact because I didn't think that I could transition or do anything in any way.
Oh, I feel that so badly.
And that
Yeah.
period is like I was just as much a trans woman all that time.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess when it really started coming to a head was when I was around 16 or so. And that's when I started doing the Minecraft thing where I was playing as a girl on a server, talking to people, having the identity of, yeah, hi, I'm a girl. That's my identity. Yeah, hi, I'm a girl.
What's your gender identity, Charlotte? Oh, Minecraft girl.
Hang on. We'll cut this out if you're not cool with me talking about it, but I'll bring it up right now.
All right.
Do you remember that time that we got pissed off at each other and then we swapped clothes and pretended to be each other? And then we were both like, that was really fun. I don't know why.
Did we do that?
Yes.
That's fucking wild.
I know, right?
That's brilliant.
Neither Kate nor I knew that we were trans back then. And, like, clearly we're really good at missing things.
Oh, man. And I feel like part of the reason why it took me such not a very long time, but like, I don't know, kind of by modern standards, there were all these trans kids coming out at the age of 3. And like,
Yeah.
I didn't really find out or come out until I was about 19. And so, but I think like part of the reason it took me such a long time was because my parents never raised me within like, this is a girl thing. You know, you got to do a girl thing. You can't play sports. You got to wear dresses all the time. They were like, just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't do absolutely anything you want. So it took me a very
They
long
were
time
too progressive.
to come to grips with the fact that it wasn't that I felt restricted within the role of a girl. It's just that that wasn't who I was.
Wow, that actually speaks to me a lot as well. Because I grew up dancing. My mum owned a dancing studio. And
The whole time. You were born dancing, you'll die dancing.
yeah, pretty much. Something like that. And
You're a great dancer, by the way. Like, fantastic. Always stealing the floor. I'm like, Chelsea, wow.
Really?
Good dancing. Yeah, so good.
I've never seen her dance.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
You gotta-
jeez.
Do you know the Flutterwacken?
Oh, God. Isn't it Futterwacken?
Either way, it's amusing.
Okay.
wait, what is this?
This is from Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton movie.
Oh, that was the
you know
worst.
what? I've not seen it.
That was so bad.
I
Do you
used
want
be
to
a
finish
huge
your cool
Burton
gender
fan.
story?
Yeah,
do it.
my gender story, and it's like I had a similar thing because I made it through my 20s because like I had the whole thing was like I'm attracted to women, so why am I gonna be trans? Like that seems counterproductive. It's not. But that was my thought process. And it was like, hey, you know, I'll just not be one of those guys. I won't be like the other guys. Like, I'm not into this. I'm not into that. I'll be
This
a
is too
feminist.
real.
I'll be, yeah. But like, even if you open the, you know, the bounds of what it means to be that assigned gender, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even in the broadest terms, like, and you know what, like, I've had male friends my entire life that definitely are far more, like, stereotypically feminine than I am even now, but that's not what it's about. You know, gender identity and expression are so different, and it's so hard for a kid to get your head around that.
Yeah.
It took me so long.
And especially when there are so many levels of stuff. Like when I was 14, like I wasn't out yet or anything. So, you know, at the time I was identifying as a girl and I had a crush on a girl. And so I was like, shit, I can't be a lesbian. I don't like plaid. Like, literally.
Holy shit.
Like, no, like that's just an example of how entrenched like the gender and sexuality roles and stereotypes that we grow up with are. Yeah.
I don't like it either.
I wear plaid these days, so I don't know.
What happened?
I don't like plaid, but I like tartan.
It's the same.
Not quite.
Not quite. I like the tartan.
plaid tartan
kilts,
binary?
like actual proper. Like, because I've got an actual family kilt, so I like the tartans because I like the idea behind them, whereas plaid's just.
Oh, okay, like just a pattern.
Fake
Yeah.
tartan. Yeah.
How do you feel about gingham?
Gingham.
I hate gingham.
What the hell's gingham?
I really hate gingham.
Is
Just
that the
wanted
thing
to
where
talk
there's
about
the weird
gingham.
squares?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like a
God,
tiny,
my
tiny
school
checkerboard.
dresses. Gingham school dresses up until year like 9 or something.
Ugh.
Gingham.
Oh, geez, where were we?
Where
even?
were we?
Right? We were talking about
Oh, yeah. Hiding,
hiding.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, egg.
Yeah.
The word of the day. That's how we
word
got
the
of
word
here.
of the day is egg.
That was a
Egg.
new word for me.
Yeah, there
So,
you go.
yeah.
That's what was new for me very recently. I actually need to go back to that group and be like, hey, what were the things that are the things? Because I can only remember 2 of them.
How to spot an egg in public.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe less about that. Maybe that would have been something that I would have picked up on. Like if someone goes, hey, like, turns out closeted trans women have these traits. See if you've got any. See if that makes you feel like you're any more trans. Like, because I could have used that. Actually, I've talked about this before, I think. I read like an article and it was a scientific article and it was a bit shit.
Oh, of course.
But it did like talk about like how some trans women like weren't super femme for their whole lives and like kind of like traits that they all seem to share in common, like what industries they would be in and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm in retail. Oh geez, I'm like predisposed for this. And like it kind of started making me think a bit more about me in that position because it's not something I'd seen much of before. And now I feel like that's so ridiculous. Like I know all these trans people now that have similar sort of narratives to me and I'm just like, how did I never know this before?
Yeah.
It's normal now.
Yeah. The world. Toke wa tomare. I'm taking that out. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
I'm so tired. I don't even know how this is going. How long have we been recording for?
Maybe an hour? 1 hour 13.
An hour including all of the like weird garbage before.
There's gonna be so
No.
much stuff to take out.
Yeah,
bro.
there's going to be a lot to
gonna
edit
be
out. We might
Okay.
as, like, we can keep going until we run out of stuff.
Sometimes it's safer to hide.
It is safer, but, like, I also didn't know I was doing it. But,
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
same. But maybe it was like a conscious safety thing, right? Like I was in a relationship. I didn't
Yeah.
know if I'd have family rejection.
Yeah.
All of these things that you have to weigh up. If you're consciously aware of it, you have to make the decision, but maybe you're not a lot of the time consciously aware.
Yeah. I know that personally I was hiding for a long time because I was scared to admit even to myself.
Yeah, that's...
I think I just wanted an answer. Like I'd be looking at cis guys' bodies and be like jealous somehow, and I was like, what is this? Why am I
happening?
feeling this? And so I think as soon as I kind of found the answer to like all of the thoughts that I was having, I don't know. It's possibly a signifier of my privilege, but I didn't want to hide. Like it just made sense. Yeah.
I didn't get it at all until someone said, maybe you're trans. And I was like, fuck.
Was it me?
No. I wish it
Because
was.
our conversation was so close to that. Because I remember saying, because you asked me, how did you know? How do you know? And I was like, well, ask yourself if your gender matches up and just if you would prefer something else,
my
then
God.
maybe you're trans.
You planted the seed and another person said the actual words.
So I kind of set it up
Yeah.
for the slam dunk. It was like an alley-oop.
It was an alley-oop. I know what that means now because I've been watching an anime about basketball.
I got it to the
What's an
90-yard line. Is that the NFL reference?
That's not a basketball thing. I know that much.
That's American football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is an alley-oop? I just know that I've seen them done.
I don't know. Why are you looking
It's
at
when
me?
someone passes it to the other person before they put it into the...
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right.
Before
So,
they
like-
dunk, is like you pass up to the mid-dunk and they're like, slam, alley-oop.
So like player A passes it to player B, and then player B puts
While
it in the
player
hole.
B's in the air.
While he's in the air, how does
Yeah.
he catch and fly?
Man,
They
he's
don't.
jumping.
It's like volleyball. They just hit it.
Oh, is it?
Usually they grab the ball with their hands and put it into the...
Amari
into
said
the-
it's like volleyball
the
because Amari's been
basketball
watching a volleyball anime.
There's a volleyball anime?
Yeah, it's called IQ.
Oh, what have you done?
And one of them's really cute and tiny.
It's all come
Amari's
from...
identifying a lot.
What's the
I'm
one?
not cute.
Azzy.
Is it all about the drama, like off the field? Off the court?
Partially, but also drama on court. And this tiny boy jumps up to the full height of the net.
And do they grunt and go, oh, and then like have like light flashes behind them in different colors when they go to hit the ball and it's like really hyped up?
Not in different colours.
No, wait, what?
No, they black out the background sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's a good technique. That's a
Also, speed
classic
lines
anime.
on the ball.
Speed lines, yeah.
And sometimes, like, they hit the ball so fast that they stop and you see the ball, like, smashed halfway down onto the
Yes.
ground and then bounce out of the court.
Does it go like? Do they do the freeze frame like the?
Yeah, freeze frame on the
Freeze
ground.
frame with really weird perspectives. Just like giant
There's
hands.
sweat drops
doesn't-
coming on
It
the-
doesn't do the low FPS frames thing. It's just one frame and then out of
Okay.
the court. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I love me some anime tropes.
Ah, so good.
good fun.
Did you say anime?
Yeah, I was gonna pick that up as well.
Don't judge me. I know what I'm about. And speaking of tropes, I watched Mortal Kombat
Ah,
movie
cool.
the other night, and it is glorious.
Oh,
It is.
I should say we've come to the general part of our trans general podcast.
Yeah, we're just gonna let it go loose now.
fly.
You know, you've had to wait a long time for our banter, and we're gonna give it to you.
This
We're gonna
is-
give it to you straight.
This is going to be an extra long podcast.
Yeah,
Because we're back.
Because we're back, and now
we're
we're kind
back.
of gotten to the swing of it
Yeah.
after a a bit of a rough start.
Yeah.
But can I talk about Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat
go,
now?
go.
Okay, so Mortal Kombat, you know, hyper violent
Good.
video game from the 90s. You know, it had its own moral panic. So, like, you know, trans people in Mortal Kombat have a lot in common. And look, the movie is ridiculous. It's cultural appropriation, yeah. It's probably pretty misogynistic, yeah. And it's filled with every trope imaginable. But it is so glorious. It is just ridiculous. And that soundtrack is amazing. I just can't even. I had the best time sitting there watching it, just sort of turning my brain off and going, yeah, look, I know this is problematic. I know this is shit.
But like everything
Good
is.
God. Look, it wasn't the worst, I guess. Like, the hero is like a dude of color, and that's great.
That's
like,
cool.
you know, Chinese American guy. And it's got a pretty diverse cast. And the fight scenes are wonderful. Sorry,
What? No,
no one
it's cool.
seems to share my enthusiasm
I
for Mortal
haven't, I
Kombat.
haven't seen it. I'm
I'm
so
just
sorry.
gushing.
One thing we can talk about is Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, sure.
Okay, let's talk about that one.
If you want to, have you seen it?
I saw a tiny bit when Matt Lucas from Little Britain, there was two of him, and he looked like a giant Eggman, and he was the Tweedles.
Oh.
Hasn't he been
Yeah,
done some-
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
That was a little bit disturbing. But I didn't watch much beyond that. I kind of got
Yeah,
distracted.
that was somewhat disturbing. And the Red Queen's giant head.
Oh, I thought Helena Bonham Carter just looked like that now.
Ha 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 ha. And she yells a lot. It's a good time.
Especially off with their heads.
That's just from the source material, that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was possible that someone would make an Alice in Wonderland movie that had less in common with the source material than the Disney movie initially did. But I hear that this one goes way off. Because it's like a kind of pseudo-sequel thing, right? Like Alice
Yeah.
returns to
pseudo-sequel.
Wonderland.
I think
Yeah.
he put Alice Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland together, didn't he?
But they are making an Alice Through the
Yeah,
Looking
they
Glass
are.
film now.
It was kind of putting it together, not so much putting it together as taking bits from Through the Looking Glass and taking the backstory from Alice in Wonderland and making them into the sequel, because it is established in it that Alice has been there once before when she was in Wonderland. And this time, instead of there just being a poem of the Jabberwocky, she slays it.
Yeah, so she gets the Vorpal blade and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, Jabberwocky is not related to
No,
Alice in
it's a
Wonderland at all,
completely
is it?
different
Yeah.
poem of...
Huh.
It's a
And
completely
the more
separate
you
poem.
know. I had
They're,
no
they're
idea.
trying to build like a in-universe fiction, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but using C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis? Is that the
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Who wrote Narnia?
Some person.
Oh...
Am I getting them mixed up?
Because it kind
I
of.
think Narnia was C.S. Lewis.
Yeah.
That could be
God,
wrong.
I do this every time.
Oh no! I
Oh, you want to know the the
Lewis
person-
Carroll.
Lewis
Yes.
Carroll,
God damn it,
Yes.
every time. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm ignorant and
What
I'm...
I'm annoyed about with
Not aware of
Narnia
the
is
canon.
they skipped the first one.
yeah. Oh.
When they were making the movies, they skipped The Magician's Nephew.
Well, that wasn't it wasn't the first one written. They
No,
started
it wasn't the first one written, but when I was younger, I had a book that was them in chronological
Yeah.
order.
I think maybe they would have intended to go back to that had they
Not
actually...
messed it up.
If something's
I think the interest just waned. Like, everyone kind of got over the high fantasy movies, and we
Well,
haven't
this
had
is
one
the
in a while.
second time they tried to make them into movies.
That's right.
if something's written afterwards, usually it in my experience from like watching prequels and reading prequels, usually it's got a whole bunch of hint drops or like
Yeah.
reveals that
World
came
building.
later. Yeah, like
Like,
if there was a reveal in
Backstory of the
the
White Witch. That's in Magician's Nephew.
okay,
And maybe that's better to see after you've seen the character.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of like Star Wars, but done well, right? Like,
yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. Hey, Star Wars fans, take that.
Hey,
I'm a Star
What
Wars
else you got to
fan,
say
and
about
I
Alice?
still
That-
agree that the
Nothing. I
prequels
just
are
don't like
awful.
it,
Okay.
and like it wasn't relevant to talk about
I
at the
like
time.
the look of the prequels.
I think everybody did a really bad performance in the whole movie. Yep.
I don't
well, that's
know
what
much
you get
about
when you
it.
have nothing to work on. You're just in front of a green screen.
Like that one story about how was it Ian McKellen?
Love Ian McKellen. He's so good.
He had to act in front of a green screen for something or other, and he just started crying. He was like, "This is not why I started acting." And then everyone's like, "Ian, calm down. You don't need to be so old."
It's like, but I can't help it. Time moves in one direction only.
Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart. Love them both.
Do you ship them?
I ship them.
I don't think Patrick Stewart's gay, though.
He might be.
No,
No?
well, like not according to himself or his public image. He's got a wife.
That's kind of
That's
the
rude.
person you listen to when you figure
it.
out someone's gender or
just-
sexuality.
I was just hoping because he's very theatrical.
He's got the gay eye.
Oh, there you go. It comes out. The stereotypes again.
I looked directly at Kate and
First-
said very theatrical.
First,
we
it's
can't
about
tell
the
who you're
eggs.
looking at on a podcast.
No, that's why I said it.
It was
Very theatrical, I
was
say,
The Hobbit.
looking at Kate.
You didn't look
it
at
was
Kate.
filming The
No.
Hobbit.
You weren't even looking at me. That was a lie. You lied on the podcast.
You lied to our listeners.
Forgive me. I am not worthy of your forgiveness.
Oh, I'm out.
Hey, what's everyone been up to? We can edit this out. Because
Ah.
that's a very vague and open question.
Finally got on the track to start with HRT.
Yeah.
Good job. Proud of you.
So a doctor got assessed, got to see a psych, because that's all a legality thing here. And I went for my blood test. Did not pass out.
Going to see Dr. Tui.
Yeah, Dr. Tui.
Oh, okay.
That's who I saw.
I hear mixed things.
I had a good experience, but I've also heard mixed things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If there's bad experience, there's such thing as psych shopping as well as doctor shopping. So we just go to a different psych because gatekeeping is bullshit. So that's that then. What have you been up
Community
to, Chelsea?
announcement.
Very little. I think we touched on this earlier, didn't
Ah,
we?
yes.
Spending a lot of time in bed.
Me too.
Where it's the most cozy, anyway.
It's true.
We are coming into winter. Gotta prepare for hibernation.
It's true. I have to slow my heart rate down. Slow that metabolism down. It's very important for me to survive. I'm storing acorns underneath my bed.
Oh my god.
I'm growing my
don't eat
winter
it.
coat and it's coming in really nice and thick.
Bears don't eat acorns.
It's a mixed metaphor. I'm both an acorn and a squirrel. And I don't know much about this because in Australia, we don't have any animals that hibernate.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to. It doesn't get that
We
cold.
should. They
It
should go
doesn't
under the
snow.
ground.
Lizards hibernate. Snakes. Where did the snakes go?
Oh,
They go
Underground.
underground.
yabbies hibernate.
Maybe I'll be a snake.
Yabbies hibernate.
Who
What?
does?
Freshwater crustaceans. Yabbies.
Oh.
Do they even sleep or they just like freeze up?
I think they hibernate. They're going down into clay. I don't know.
How do
Cool.
they breathe?
They stop
Very
breathing.
carefully.
They dig a little pocket that's enough air.
Yeah.
They can probably turn off their lungs, to be honest.
Yeah. They don't have lungs. They have gills.
Well-
They can turn off their
Well, there
gills.
you go. They're already turned off.
Crustaceans have gills? Oh, it shows
Yeah.
how little I know about
Yes, yeah.
biology.
Hermit crabs have gills.
Cool.
Hermit crabs are cool.
I had some.
Had?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Oh, well, like,
I blame you.
They do
No,
have
they
limited lifespans.
they didn't die. I just, like, resold them.
Oh.
Gave
You
them to
resold
somebody
them?
else.
They went to a farm
As a black market?
out in the country.
There's, like, plenty of people
There
who,
are
like,
plenty
will
of
take
farms
in
out
hermit
in the
crabs.
country.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad told me they took my fish out to a farm in the country.
Well,
I
there are
had
fish
plenty of room
Oh
to
my God.
swim around.
farms. There are fish farms.
Yeah, but,
Oh
like,
my God.
it's not good for a fish to go there to a fish farm.
Maybe the fish was the farmer of other fish.
My parents
Do you
told me
want
that
that,
my
though? Your fish became, like, a systematic oppressor?
Animal farm.
Oh my god. My parents told me that my guinea pig ran away. They told me years later that the cage was struck by lightning.
That's fucking wild. I
I
would have
know.
told my 7-year-old that.
You never guess what happened.
Kid, you won't believe it. It's dead, but
It went out in a blaze of glory.
do you want to see it? It's charred. It looks fucked up.
I had guinea pigs,
That's not
but
traumatic at all.
my sister left the cage open and they got stolen by a fox because this was when I lived way out country.
Like, ate by a
maybe
fox,
your
though.
parents lied too.
I-
Maybe
I-
yours
I
died.
found the blood.
Oh.
Maybe yours was struck by lightning.
I love the language of stolen by a fox, though, because it's like the fox just took it and raised them. It's like, I don't want to pay for a pet. I'm going to steal one.
Fox is an anti-capitalist. Foxes are anarcho-capitalists.
Good.
Well, we know that they help chickens escape by building giant things that flap.
Anarcho-capitalist
Chicken
is
Run.
the bad one. It's
Oh,
just like we
chicken
should
run. I was
not
like, are you
have...
serious? Are you for real?
Chicken Run.
Another classic.
Classic. Oh yeah, I was going to watch that recently.
I don't like it.
Oh.
They escaped from the capitalist, really mean farm owners.
Yeah.
It's just a movie about vegetarianism.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I suppose. I mean, they don't want to be in a chicken
How
pie.
can it not be?
They don't want to
It's
be
a
in
movie
pie.
about how these animals don't want to be eaten, and then you establish sympathy with the animals, and then you be all like, "Oh shit, do I want to eat
I
animals?"
ate roast chicken while I was watching it the first time.
You look really different with your hair back. I don't think I've ever seen it like that.
Do it. Can I see it?
Do it.
Check it out here, Lion.
No, like you had like
testosterone.
you had like a little thing and it looked cool.
Look at this. So cool. I'm actually going to get a fringe, I think. I'm going to
Yes,
get
do
like...
it.
Do it,
Yes.
do it.
Like Courtney Barnett. All about that bang life.
I was thinking of just like straight bangs, just like, and then they go to here. You know?
Wait, what? To where? There.
No, like fucking here.
I just want to
This
look
is
a little
good
more
podcast
rock and roll,
material.
you know? Oh, my hair's in terrible shape.
I need a haircut.
Which one?
This one right here. Tries to pull a single one.
That
pull
joke
it out.
never
This one
gets
right
old.
here, that needs
Oh
cutting.
my god.
Actually, it does get old really fast. And I probably despise someone else who made it. So I forgive you.
What's up? The roof.
The ceiling first.
And then the roof.
The
And then-
inside roof.
Well, really, like, based on how small the Earth is, like, the universe.
Ah.
But is that up or is it all around?
We
Yes.
are the universe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Welcome to the Meta Podcast.
It's not meta.
Unless it's a podcast about podcasts,
That's
then that would be meta, right?
Like saying it's meta is
I
like
don't know.
saying Inception.
Inception doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Inception
As a
was a
thing.
pretty good
People
movie.
It
use
was.
Inception as the
When a
word.
thing is inside a thing.
People use Inception as a word for like meta.
Yeah.
And it's not. Inception is the creation of an idea. And the whole point of Inception was they were planting an idea in the head. The whole point of Inception was not that it's inside a thing, that it's inside a thing.
Yeah, that was just what ended up happening with the plot.
That's
Yeah.
literally incredible. I've never heard anybody talk about Inception that way.
Do you remember when everyone was like, oh, I can't follow what's going on in
Yeah.
Inception, it's too complex. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Like, they went 3 levels deep and then they came out.
You know,
Because they
it was,
did them in order, and they all had this really cool, distinct visual style.
Yeah.
I thought was done intentionally.
it was
but-
literally a coming of age moment for me when I finally got Inception. It was like the
Oh my
third
God.
watch, and I'm like, I can be an adult now because I get Inception.
How old were you?
Oh, 2021? I've only been 22 for a month, so it must have happened recently.
Welcome to adulthood. Look, I'm not disparaging people, I guess, that didn't understand it. Look, whatever, like, you might not be devoting all of your thinking power. It's not the most important thing in the world, a Christopher Nolan film. But,
Wow.
I just don't think it was as deep as most
Yeah.
people thought it was.
There's a lot going on.
It was basically about terrorism, planting an idea in someone's head.
It's
Oh
an
my
action movie,
terrorism.
really, when it comes down to it. Also, I like the idea that it's like a metaphor for film. And that each person plays a role in the construction of a film.
Oh my god, I worked so hard just to understand what was going on.
Yeah, no, like,
No, you guys are coming up with different ideas. It's so great.
I'll send you the link to the theory. Just look it up. It's like Inception as a metaphor for film, and each person on the team is like a different role in filmmaking.
Cool.
Wait, we were doing a thing where we were like, what did everyone
That's
else
meta.
do?
That's what meta is.
Is it?
That's
Yeah,
meta.
that's meta.
All right, so the
a
reason...
film about filmmaking.
Yeah.
It would be meta, yes.
Yeah, like it's like if you're gonna take that as like the subtext, then it's a meta subtext.
That episode of Seinfeld where Jerry makes the sitcom called Jerry, that's meta.
Yes,
Ah.
that's like strict, authentic meta.
Seinfeld is strict authentic meta. You heard it here first.
The reason why Kate is so hard on the meta is because before the podcast, I was calling a lot of things that weren't meta.
I did a creative writing degree. I know what these words mean.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is Metapod meta?
Oh, wow. No.
Okay. What about Metabots?
No.
Are these Transformers? What are these?
No, but
Meta-
there is more than meets the eye.
Oh,
Oh.
I was so disappointed.
I'm thinking of other things that start with meta and I've lost it.
Okay, well, that's...
metastasize,
How meta?
Metamorphosis?
butterflies. No, we can't
just doing word
No, we can't
association?
do that. We can't do
Where
that.
does the meta come into metamorphosis? This is
It's-
regular
It's
morphosis?
the first 4 letters.
It means change, doesn't it? Meta. No, that's the morph part. Change within itself because it
Yeah.
goes inside a cocoon. So
That
change
makes sense.
within. And meta
Metabolic.
means within.
What's metabolic?
Or partial
It's inside your
and not
bollock.
entirely change because it's still the same being.
But its physical form has totally changed. See, we've gone through the
Potato,
trans, through the
potato.
general, and then we're edging back into the trans.
Everything comes back to trans. All roads lead to trans.
I agree.
I'm writing that one down.
The trans singularity is upon us. There is no escape. The trans is nigh.
Oh yeah. Kate, what did you get up to?
I've been in bed for the past 10 days.
Everyone's been in bed. I've been in bed too.
I'm at the stage of like recovery now where I'm like, I hung out washing, and it's like a celebration. It's like a new thing I can do.
I hang out washing. Time to pour myself a shot.
You gotta little victories.
Little victories.
You gotta celebrate when you can.
Like, I would do that. When I have my orchidectomy, I will hang out washing and pour myself a shot.
You don't hang out washing as is.
I hang it on the thing inside the house.
You don't understand. She can't because she has testicles.
Oh my god.
You wait and see. She'll be able to
Oh yeah,
soon
we're gonna
enough.
start using the line.
I'll sprint outdoors and
I'm pretty
slam
sure.
dunk.
How's the
Immediately
recovery
post op,
time?
just run.
What was that?
What's the recovery time like for that?
I don't
imagine it's reasonably
I could Google.
onerous.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Like, okay, this might be going too far, and if you want to,
No,
we
it's
can
cool.
edit this out because I'm going to reveal something real personal about me, and I do find it's kind of fun in a very, very strange way.
Oh, that's your call if you want to edit that out.
Okay, no, look, I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Let's do it. Okay, when I was 16, I had testicular torsion.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we know what that is, audience?
I've heard of it, but I think I need
It's
explanation.
Where one of them gets all turned up and around.
Flip, turn up, turn upside
No,
Turn
down.
upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets all tangled or something with the.
Yeah, so it kind of wraps around itself.
Yeah.
So I've kind of already had a surgery
Mhm.
on that part of me, and the recovery took a little while. It's uncomfortable, and I had to walk like a cowboy or a cowgirl, as it were, like spurs.
Did you get? Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Kind of like
you
a
get
crab,
like
scuttling around.
Ka-chink.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
It's like, is that your testicles talking to each other?
Yeah, I think so.
I know, right?
It's funny though because they're like, hey, like it might not survive. Like we caught it just in time, but sign this waiver in case you lose it. But hey, we can put a prosthetic one in. I was like, look, just whatever. I'm in so much pain, and in the back of my mind, it's like, what happens if they go?
What happens if they go cross fingers?
Yeah, it's a very strange position to be in.
Yeah.
But good job to the doctors that.
We caught it just in time. Damn.
Such a strange bind.
Yeah. Does that make
That
you
was probably
like?
more about testicles than we intended to talk about
Yeah,
today.
like if like I can ask questions, can I ask?
Yeah, ask questions. Look,
like,
we've gone there now.
Does it make
It's
you
going
more
deep.
inclined to get an orchidectomy over like trying to get one of the surgeries that like needs less scar tissue?
I've got scar tissue. Ooh,
Exactly.
You better believe.
Oh,
It looks like a seam. It's like a zipper.
this is like already. I've got like a seam.
I was literally about to say that.
You were about to say that I had a seam.
Not in
That's
regards to
awful.
Not in regards
please
to
don't
you,
tell
in
people.
regards to testicles in general.
I'm talking to like 600 odd subscribers about my testicles, and I don't know how I feel about this.
That's how it's how the ball rolls.
Look, it's late. Let's just get loose. Let's just roll with the testes.
You know something?
Question. Yep.
Oh god, there's like this new advert in Crown Central, and it just says something about take care of your boys, and it's two
Yeah.
people. I fucking I'm so mad about it.
They're
What
my
is it?
girls. They're not my boys.
And, like they're not my anything. I want them gone. I've disowned them. I've always hated having testicles, like always. It's
Getting hit with a
just
cricket ball, that was not a good time.
Yeah.
Testicular torsion, also not a good time.
I think mine have just been like extremely sensitive my whole life. Like, so, I'd knock them slightly.
I'm pretty sure that is normal.
No, like very slight knocking, and they do ache for days.
I want to. I mean,
Get
look,
rid of them.
Yeah, I was like, if I want to get that checked out, I was like, if you're getting rid of them, well, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think I hated them for other reasons too. There you go.
Yeah, you're just looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
This is the dull, constant reminder that they're there.
Yeah.
Like ovaries and
Fucking ovaries.
Fucking ovary.
they're evil.
It's like constant pain. It's like pain at any time.
Yes,
For no
and,
reason.
like,
You're welcome.
When things last for too long and pain is intense, just like provides a good excuse to get them out, though.
Yeah.
But it's like ovulation pain, though. Like everybody accepts period pain is a thing, and we all know about it.
There's ovulation.
Ovulation
pain?
pain happens. It's when like for some reason, even though the egg has to be released fucking monthly, the human body can't do it without pain.
Yeah,
And your ovary,
That
whichever one is
explains-
releasing the egg, will just hurt.
that explains so much.
Are other
it's
mammals
like-
in pain?
It's like mid-cycle.
Constantly.
Like, how did we mess up evolutionary wise? Like,
Yeah, I've always
That
wondered, like, what
stuff just
happens when
hurts
other mammals have their periods? How
so
does that
much.
Well, chickens lay eggs.
That's
go? What? But that's not a mammal. They're a bird.
yeah.
Don't they go on heat?
Yeah,
Don't dogs go on heat?
and cats too. They go on heat.
Yeah, we have.
So it's like a
Yeah.
less frequent thing,
Yeah,
something like that, but it's more intense.
more related to the
okay.
seasons
Hmm.
for animals, rather
We
than
are
just
animals.
once a month.
Other animals, non-human animals.
Non-human mammals, whereas we're just once a month.
Is it because of the moon?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
It's just really coincidental.
Like, doesn't this all sort of stem from the fact that humans' heads are really big? Like the entire way that we evolved, that like
I don't know about the
That's
whole
why
cycle
human
thing,
birth
but
is so painful and dangerous.
Yes,
Because
and
our heads are
it's-
too big and we can't stay in the womb for any longer.
yeah, we should be gestating for longer.
Yeah,
That's why we're born useless. Like, baby giraffes can fucking walk, and humans are just like, I can't do anything.
good thing we're social animals. But you're like, why is it so painful? And like, it's even the same thing with like people who have testicles. It's like, why are they external? Oh, it's to keep them cool. What, we couldn't have evolved them
Yeah.
that the sperm would survive inside?
Yeah.
It's because it's always like the shortest route to what works. Evolution sucks.
Yeah,
But like,
it's
why
not, it's
don't
not
eggs
elegant.
have to be kept cool and shit?
Yeah.
Like, they're fine inside.
But sperm,
They're not
nuh-uh.
very far away from anything.
It's because sperm's weak.
it's true.
It's fickle.
Yeah, they worked really well underwater. Damn it, we have
Like
to cut that.
babies.
You don't have a mic. Damn it. Damn.
our
Get
life
over
used to be
here.
awesome.
Come, like, run over to Kate's mic when you want to say something.
Become trans so you can be on the podcast. Have you ever had a cis person, or is this like just for
Hayley.
trans people? Okay.
First zeroth episode. But since then it's been...
You programmers and your zeros.
Yes? You're a programmer now.
Yes, but I don't start counting at 0.
Well, you're not much of a programmer
Except
yet,
for
are
your
you?
age.
Boom.
No, but we still start counting in terms of months. It's like it
Yeah,
becomes
Yeah,
that's
but when you turn one,
more
it's not your
decimalised
first
system.
year.
It's the end of
No,
your
no, it's
first
the end
year.
of
You
your
have
first year.
lived one entire year,
Well-
so you are 1 year old.
I
Yeah.
believe it's Korea where they start at 1.
So as soon as it's born, it's 1.
Yeah.
And then once it's completed 12 months, it's 2.
Yes.
That's
I think
so
it's
confusing.
Korea. Yeah.
In terms of other cultures and how that must interact.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard somewhere that there was, I don't know if it's currently a culture or formerly a culture where their first birthday is 3 months after they're born, and then birthdays just go from there.
It's weird. And
Yeah, like from conception.
oh.
What? Oh, right.
That makes sense in a way,
And
but
it's a
then
little
it's kind of
creepy
like
in a way.
not everyone's gestated for 9 months on the dot. Like
Yeah.
I was premature, so
I was
No,
proud.
you-
it's
Yeah.
kind of
But then do they like document the day that people like had sex? And they're like, oh
But
yeah,
like, that's
exactly
so hard.
this day.
It's really hard to tell.
Just have sex once.
Especially if you're having
it
like
doesn't work,
regular
try again in
sex.
3 months.
Yeah.
They theorized that Stonehenge, and there was a wooden one quite near, were sites of
Woodhenge.
were sites of significance, and that now let me get this right. In autumn, they'd have a cultural thing where a lot of people just had sex so that they could have babies in the spring when all the animals were having their babies.
That makes so much sense. And it's warm in the spring, but not too warm.
Yeah.
It's a good time to raise a kid so the kid's kind of like functioning before it's cold again.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, great.
I'm feeling weird about my spring birthday right now.
I've also got a spring birthday.
this? I know that I was planned, which made me a bigger disappointment. Parents. No, that's not even a joke. My mum had very big expectations for me. Not as like religious, not trans. Only into girls of the same religion.
Well,
None
And
of that
also
went
not
well.
trans.
Also not trans.
So, look, we derailed a little, and that's just fine.
That's the general part.
That's the general part. It is very broad and very general. Hey, we've been transgeneral.
Yeah, that's us. Chelsea, me, and the guests. Kate, Amari.
it was like he forgot the name.
No, I was just like,
Let me
what order
think.
do I do
Which-
this in?
Which one's which?
Oh my god.
Which is my left and which is my right?
No, I was just kind of like, do I do Amari first? Because I put to Kate first at the start of the. I don't know.
Well, I wasn't I introduced first? So
Yeah.
therefore I say goodbye first.
All right, go for
Yeah,
it.
first in, first out. That's
FIFO.
the rule. FIFO.
Oh my god, you fucking nerds. That's a programming thing.
It's also a KFC thing.
Oh.
I think
It's
I
also
see how it
just a
is.
food service
It's a
in
food
general
service,
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I didn't get it either way. So like, good on you guys.
First thing bought needs to be the first thing sold, otherwise things will go off.
Yeah, you put the old milk at the front
Oh yeah, okay.
so it sells before otherwise everyone just goes to the back of the fridge and buys the old milk, which they do anyway. You've been to the shops, you've seen it happen.
I buy milk. I don't buy
Anyway.
milk. I'm a vegetarian.
Vegetarians can drink milk.
Yeah, but milk's gross.
Oh yeah, you
It gives me
drink
a
soy
stomach
milk.
ache, and then it like hurts the cows too. Hurts everyone.
It gives me a stomach ache at the same time. Referred pain back to the cows.
Yeah, because they're sad.
Oh.
Their udders
Hey.
are sore.
We're finishing.
Oh, okay. All right. So we've got a Twitter now. It's at Transgeneral. We're also on Facebook /Transgeneral. The regular Facebook URL.com/Transgeneral.
Also,
Just search it.
Also,
we have a Patreon.
oh yeah, we have a Patreon.
We really needed to mention this at the beginning
Oh
of the
my God.
podcast. But hey, congratulations. You made it to the end of the podcast. We're going to ask you for money.
Good job. Please help. I did just
Amari over
Amari's,
here
like,
is
showering us in dollar bills
thank you,
imaginarily.
which we don't have.
Yeah,
It's going to
unfortunately.
be fives at least. It's much better.
No, just flick coins at you.
Oh my
Just
god!
egg 5-cent pieces. Just like ping ping.
Drop them on us from the roof. So
Making it rain. Oh, it hurts.
we set up a Patreon after I bought the second set of mics because they did come out kind of pricey at like $800, and it'd be cool if you guys could help us fund that.
But I tell you, once we get them working, oh, that sound quality.
Oh my god, it
Oh.
was such an ordeal.
I can't even.
3 hours,
More than.
more than 3 hours.
4, 5, 10.
It's taken a decade. I am no longer a young woman. Anyways, yeah, it'd be great. Patronize
And
us.
We'll also be releasing extra content on there. Like before the show, there was like 30 minutes of pre-show banter. I can edit that down to actually be funny, and then it's going to go on there. So anyway, yeah, thank you for listening. This has been Transgeneral.
We're looking for a sign off.
We're looking for a sign up. I'm really
tweet
thinking
us
hard. Like
at Transgeneral.
this has been Transgeneral. Don't be shit.
Don't
Thank you,
be
friends.
shit.
Goodbye.
Hello, goodbye
That's
was
a nice
nice to know
sign-off.
you.
Wait, what?
Hello, goodbye was nice to know you. Goodbye. That didn't.
That's strange.
And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.